Hello and welcome back to our ES6 introduction on freeCodeCamp. This is use arrow functions to write concise anonymous functions. And it says in JavaScript, we often don't need to name our functions, especially when passing a function as an argument to another function. Instead, we create inline functions. We don't need to name these functions because we do not reuse them anywhere else. So that's important to note. To achieve this, we often use the following syntax. This is what you're most likely used to if you've only done the JavaScript courses on freeCodeCamp. So you're declaring here your const myfunc, which is this anonymous function, which has a const myvar, which returns value. So when you return myvar, you're returning the string value using this here. So ES6 provides us with the syntactic sugar to not have to write anonymous functions this way. Instead, you can use arrow function syntax. So we're going to see a shorter version now. This is that ES6 syntax. If you've seen code with this arrow syntax here, then this is just ES6, which is just the standard way of doing things in JavaScript. Now, when there is no function body and only a return value, arrow function syntax allows you to omit the keyword return as well as the brackets surrounding the code. This helps simplify smaller functions into one-line statements. So this is a nice, even shorter version and of this here, but again, it's when there's no function body and only a return value. So we're able to do that here by just omitting the curly brackets and just simply putting the return value. This code will still return value by default. So rewrite the function assigned to the variable magic, which returns a new date, to use arrow function syntax. Also make sure nothing is defined using the keyword var. So they probably want us to make it look similar to that. So we'll use also the const, and what else? Return new date function should not be there. So const magic equals that, and then our arrow function syntax, and that should satisfy it. It now looks the same as this here, and it just returns new date. Yep, that should be good. Let's check. And we did pass. So the important thing we learned here is the new arrow syntax for defining functions in JavaScript. ES6 arrow function syntax removes the function, the declaring of the function this way, declaring of the anonymous function this way here, and we're instead doing something like this. No function word, and then just the little arrow, equal sign, arrow combination. And lastly, if there's no function body and only a return value, we can shorten our function to that simple line. Knowing that, you get this lesson and it just comes in handy. So I'll see you in the next lesson.